Good morning, everyone. This is Terry Koogler from Koogler Landscaping coming at you with another review and talk about this time power washers, cleaning things, power washer related. Back about 25-30 years ago, I got my first power washer, and it was a big heavy duty commercial, 3,000 or 4,000 PSI. Real fancy. I think I paid like $3,000 for it or something. Ended up having some issues with the pumps and stuff in about a year or two. And worked really well. The usual with power washers, kind of a mess. And nowadays they have fancier heads and more efficient and not quite as bad, but still labor intensive. And you gotta get wet, and it's got to be warm out to because you're going to get wet using them, that's for sure. It's a dirty job. Anyhow, so I can't remember what model I had before, but like I said, it was a commercial unit, and I had paid around $3,000 back, and this was like 25-30 years ago. So today, a few years ago, this one here, the John Deere, it's got a Honda GTX 390. I think it's like a 8 horsepower unit or something. I'm guessing. I don't see where it says on it, but it's got if you guys know, you can chime in and let me know. It's got the Honda GTX 390. Anyhow, it's been pretty good. It's got I like the wand on it. It's got the little storage there on the handle there for all the sprayer nozzles, jets, or whatever you want to call it. Then you can buy accessories. I'm sure you can get whatever attachment to go on there, but this, I've not used it a great deal. In fact, this year it's not really been out of the shop. But it's been a good unit, and so far every time I fire it up, it works. And so for $600-700 that I paid for it, I'm well pleased. It's like almost a third or a quarter of the price of the other one, and so I highly recommend it. And I'm a big fan of the Honda. Kawasaki and the Japanese motors have always been very good. I've never had a Honda motor go bad on me in 40-some years. I have had one Kawasaki go bad on my, trying to think what I had. X-Mart, I think it was an X-Mart 30-inch commercial mower. It sucked in some, there's a known problem, it sucks in some air, dirty filter breaks down or doesn't seal well, and it sucked in some dirt. I think that's what did it in, and then I got online and researched it, and there was an issue with that. So anyhow, that was the only Japanese motor I've had go bad in 40-some years. But I tend to, every 5 or 10 years replace my units because like dependability, and I'm a commercial guy, and I am solo. So the next little part of the video, so if you have any questions on the John Deere or the sprayers, let me know what you like or whatever, what you're using. Here's a little kind of secret, it seems to be, and why I've gotten away from the power washing so much is, everybody assumes that it's just dirt. We've got, mud or some sort of dirt on the rocks, the walks, the driveway, the pavers. And of course, on touching on the pavers, you're really not supposed to use power washing because it disturbs and displaces the sand or whatever material they use. Most people, it's some sort of sand or polymer mix, which is really bad because that's what locks the pavers together. So we'll get into the second half here shortly. But what I found, or in my humble opinion, is that it's more of an organic, like an algae, or I'm not sure what it, I would call it that, which grows, and it's usually a dark color, and it resembles like, dirt. is build up on your things, or you may have moss, which is obvious it's moss. It's green generally. And so you power wash all that off, and it looks great for 3-6 months or a period of time. And then certainly by the next season, it looks just like it did again. So it's it's an annual tradition where every year I get out to power wash and clean it because it's dirty. So I'm always a thinking man, and I thought, I wonder if I used a little bleach on something. I had a customer that was willing to let me work on that for her. She has a big, extensive property with a pool, swimming pool, and I'm not sure how big the driveway is, but it's big. It holds up to 16 cars, so it's a substantial driveway, and most of it's concrete and the other half is blacktop. So I tried around her pool, and I poured this on the concrete and brushed it around. And of course, right when you pour it on, you can see it, taking away the dirt, and it looks like, it's clean. And so brushed it around and poured it on and she was, like, well, that looks pretty darn good to me. And I said, well, it's much less mess and everything than using the power washer. So ended up doing the whole property, and it took like 30 bottles or some number like that of, at least around the pool, of Clorox. And I just used the regular. I find it's the best. You don't need the splashless and stuff. Doesn't seem to be as strong, so just use the regular Clorox. And back then, of course, Clorox was a couple bucks a gallon. Now, the last I looked, it was like $4 or $5 a gallon, so it's not such a value as it was back then. But anyhow, I'll get to the point I'm trying to make between power washing and Clorox. Is the Clorox seems to, I Cloroxed pavers, rocks, stone pillars that as you enter a driveway. 'Cause I personally have some at my house, and I've sprayed it on there, and it just looks almost like new in comparison. And the thing that I'm liking about where the value comes in is I did this one paver patio. It was back in the woods, kind of. There's almost no sunshine, so it really builds up algae and moss, and really bad. I did this, gave it a Clorox treatment probably 5 or 8 years ago. And it's just now today getting where in spots it could use a little bit, but it's pretty much been 80-90% free of any of the dirt, the moss, and all this and that. So what I'm trying to get to is it lasts much longer than the power washing. So yes, power washing, you can get the job done, and it's messy and time consuming because it may take me several hours. Of course, now today they have different attachments that's faster, but generally using what I have to do, like my shop here, which is a 30 by 30 floor, would take me several hours, 2, 3, 4 hours to get it done, because you're just doing such a small portion with a spray pattern. And of course, it'd be a messy job. And then, of course, next year, as usual, I would be doing it again because all this stuff would be back. Now, with the Clorox, that's where the advantage is. I think it takes less time to treat, and then the results last 2, 3, 4, 5 times longer. So that's the big advantage. And I've been doing this using pretty much strictly Clorox. Now the Simple Green and the Grease Lightning or some other products I do, I might clean the equipment with that or something. So there's a couple other, and I also use a product called Crud Cutter. And the way I apply these products is either, a brush, like a concrete brush. I don't think I have one in the shop. I was going to show you. And I will pour it on and brush it around on the pavement. I do a combination of that. Pour it on, pour the material on the section that I'm working on, brush it around. Then I also put it in a sprayer, a little handheld bottle, and the backpack sprayer. And then I treat the spots that are, maybe missed or come up a little thin, or these are, the sprayers are very good for the horizontal, walls or something that's elevated, that's not flat. So, and then I use a little handheld sprayer. If you have like rock edging around your plants or whatever, I use both of them for doing that as well. Like if you have a border around your landscape and stuff, works very well. I did my stone pillars. I've done paver patios, works good at anything stone. And I would always highly recommend that you, when in doubt, do a little simple test on something. Do a couple pavers or a small section of the concrete and see what you think. And so I've not noticed any damage to the pavers or the concrete. It seems not to harm the plants hardly. Obviously, if you get it all over it, it's going to do something to it, but I've had quite a bit of it run off in the grass, and the next week it might be burnt slightly along the edge, but within about the following week, 10-15 days later, it seems to just grow right back and green up. So that's really been a minimum issue as far as damage to any plants or anything. And I've not killed any bushes or trees that I'm aware of with it as well. So I would highly recommend and suggest you trying out Clorox. And I'm not affiliated with it or anything like that. So it just worked real well. And you could see, maybe today with it $5 a gallon, maybe it's not such a value as it was before, but where the true value comes in is that, you're not going to be doing it next year or the following year, where with if you power wash something, it's very likely next year you're going to be out doing it again. So I guess pick your poison, but I'm a fan of the Clorox and been using it for 10 or 15 years in my business. And the power washer this year has not been started or out on a job, but I have done 3 or 4. I've cut down on stuff because my health and time. So, but I still prefer the Clorox because the long-lasting effects of it, and just it's not so messy. I mean, you wait probably 2 to 4 or 5 hours, and once it's dry, you're good to go. I don't have to wash it off, so I don't rinse it or do anything. I just let it air dry. Try to do it when customers are not entertaining, or let people be aware. I usually set some empty bottles around the perimeter, so people are, put 2 and 2 together and know that there's a treatment on it, because you certainly wouldn't want to walk through it and then go into your house, into your cartoning, or get into your car, because it is Clorox. But I've not had any major mishaps with it, but I'm careful, and it works. So just giving you a little tip or a little secretive things that I've been doing over the last 30, 40 years. I've been in business about 41 years now, so. Well, if you have any questions, I'm sure I always leave something out in my conversations. So if you have anything I've left out, or you want to make a comment and tell me what you're doing and what you like, that'd be great. This channel's all about sharing information and trying to be helpful, and so that's it. So. Appreciate everybody, and thank you, and have a good day. That's my time for now.